for my second time doing this video. Highly annoyed. Okay, so I'm going to explain the difference between a midwife and a doula. I'm actually very appalled that people don't know what a midwife is. Not necessarily not knowing what a doula is, because that's something that kind of became popular in the United States. Although it's something that has been an ancient practice. But so basically what I wanted to say, I'll just try to condense what I said in the video before. Primarily, this is primarily what I'm going to say primarily, or does focus on what women of color have gone through in this country. So about 60 to 70 years ago, women of color were not allowed to deliver in hospitals any day of the week. Which, if you go into labor, you can, that can happen any day of the week, any time of the day. Well, primarily in the South, but, in the United States, period, Black women were not allowed to just deliver in any hospital. They were either had specific days or they weren't allowed to, period. Back then, which basically means, what this means is women had to deliver at home. Okay? And I know people are going to clutch their pearls and be like, oh my God, I can't believe women deliver at home. And the reason why people are going to be shocked is because we are used to hearing about horror stories. We're used to hearing about women having C-sections, needing C-sections, baby being breech, and them not being able to turn the baby around. Breech means that the baby is not head down, it's their feet down. They heard about all kinds of, horror stories in the hospitals. And for someone who is, about to go to midwifery school, and this is why I'm actually doing this video, because I tell people I'm going to midwifery school, and they're like, oh, you're going to go to school to be a midwife? What's that? So this is the explanation. They hear about all these horror stories, so they just can't possibly imagine delivering it at home. It's like, why would I deliver at home? That's, unheard of. Why would I do that? And there's several reasons why. I challenge people who don't know what a midwife is or don't know anything about home birth to watch The Business of Being Born, which is something that actually the former talk show host Ricky Lake, a documentary that she did. But during the time when we weren't allowed to deliver in hospitals, our infant and maternal mortality, meaning the number of women and babies that died during and after childbirth or due to childbirth complications, was extremely low. Right now in this country, it is extremely high for all women. When I say we, I'm talking about the United States. We have one of the highest infant mortality rates in the world. I mean, our rate is worse than some third world countries. They try to make it seem like third world countries are so behind the times because they don't have internet and they don't have this and they don't have that, but they still maintain their natural birthing practices, okay? And that's why the women don't die, the babies don't die at such an alarming rate as they do here. In this country, the woman is taken away from the baby immediately, because they have to go get all these shots and all these other crazy things that happen, which they don't do in other countries that they didn't even do 100 years ago. They didn't even do 200 years ago. And people lived, but people are dying now. When I say people, I'm talking about women and children, because I'm talking specifically about childbirth. So, that's basically, the thing. So women weren't dying when they were giving birth at home. And so this is why a lot of women are choosing to get a midwife, and to deliver at home. OBGYNs deliver at hospitals. Okay, that is their thing. I'm sure in some states they can legally deliver at home if they want to, but most of them deliver in hospitals. So the difference between an OBGYN and a midwife and a doula, because there's a difference between all three. They can all work together in harmony. They don't have to be bumping heads, but they can all work together. Okay, so a OBGYN is a medical doctor. Okay, so the OBGYN will have MD after his or her name. They are licensed, or they are legally able to deliver babies via vaginal, so they catch the baby from the vaginal canal, or they can do surgery such as C-sections. They are also able to write prescriptions for birth control, do breast exams, things like that. A midwife, whether she be, so there's a difference between midwives too. You can either be a professional midwife, which is what I'm going to school to be, or you can be a nurse midwife. A nurse midwife is someone who is they're an RN or registered nurse, and they've gone and got a master's in nursing. Okay, they can also write prescriptions. They can also do pap smears, well woman exams, just like an OBGYN. But they don't do the surgery, the surgical part of birth. They don't do C-section. Okay, because that is a major surgery. It's not something that should be happening all the time like they do in this country. But again, watch the documentary and you'll understand. So it's all about rushing the birth so that, you can go home and chill. That's what C-sections have turned into. It used to be an emergency procedure. Now it's like you can schedule it because it's like the cool thing to do. And then sometimes doctors are like, I'm just going to induce you before Christmas comes because, I want to spend time with my family. Which is unfortunate because the baby will come out when they're ready. But my little rant. Okay. Now, a professional midwife, they also do not do surgeries. They don't have to be a nurse. They can be a nurse, but they don't have to be. They've gone through at least 3 years of training. They've been at least 150 births, half of which they have at least been the primary midwife, meaning that they were the ones to catch the baby. They are known for doing home births, having babies at birth centers, and they can also deliver at hospitals if allowed, depending on the state law. They can still do well woman exams, pap smears, breast exams, but they do not write prescriptions. Okay? They typically use natural methods during birth, whether that be having a chiropractor there to help with any kind of pain a woman may have, letting her having smelling scents such as like lavender, like herbs like lavender, things like that to assist with just the pain or just the discomfort during labor. So they're just more of a holistic birth professional. That's what a midwife is. Again, a midwife to me is an OBGYN that doesn't do surgeries and doesn't write prescriptions. They're like a holistic OBGYN. They don't do surgeries. Now, if a woman has an emergency and she absolutely needs a C-section, something's going wrong, she will be rushed to the hospital because it has become an emergency. And I know a lot of people think, well, I don't want to deliver at home because what if it's an emergency? That's not the norm. You see what I'm saying? It's not the norm for it to be an emergency. That happens, but that's not the norm. Then we have a doula. A doula is a labor coach, a labor assistant. They can also assist with pain by giving herbs and smelling salts and things like that and rubbing the mom's back and advocating for her in birth. And they can probably tell the doctor and midwife, no, she really wants to do this naturally. Give her more time, blah, 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 blah. But understand, the doctor and or midwife makes the ultimate decision because their license is on the line. So if they feel like mom's gonna die, baby's gonna die, their life's in danger, they have the say so. And this is why I personally chose not to be a doula. People are like, why don't you just go be a doula? It ain't but this long, and it's inexpensive to get your license, and you just get to rub people's backs and do this, and that's great, and that's awesome. But I know a lot of doulas, and they have told me about how a mother is being mistreated in a hospital because she doesn't speak English, or because the doctor is like, I gotta go home, and this baby's taking too long. So we're just gonna cut her open and get this done because I'm ready to go home and eat some fried chicken. They told me how And even some midwives, they get into this field because it's well paying, and they don't really care about the patient. I mean, that's something that you will see just across all medical professions. There's some people who are just there because, hey, RNs get paid well. Hey, anesthesiologists get paid well. Hey, chiropractors get paid well. And they don't care, and you think, oh, this person's they're in a healing health profession. No, some of these people don't care, and it's about a check. And that's sad, especially when it's two people's lives on the line. It's the mommy and the baby, and someone is willing to just rush something, because birth is not meant to be rushed. I know a lady who was in labor for several days. She was in a hospital. They would have cut her open, but she had a midwife at home, and that midwife stayed there, and she made sure that woman ate, and she made sure her and that baby were safe, and they were healthy, and baby came into this world. You would not hear about that at a hospital. They would be like, you're going to the C-section room. But midwives are trained differently. They're trained from a holistic model. Not to say there aren't OBGYNs that have a holistic focus, but primarily they do not. That's just not the flow of the hospital. The hospital's like, get you in, get you out, get you in, get you out. We have more people coming. We got to make room for more people. And that's not really how birth should be. Really, I don't think any health problems should be like that. But again, we're just talking about birth. So a doula is basically a labor assistant, a labor coach. Their point is to just help mom get that baby out and to manage pain naturally, so that she can avoid getting a C-section, and just to advocate for that mom. But understand, if the doctor or the midwife is on some I gotta go type stuff, or whatever, it's really whatever they say go, because they are the licensed professional. Their license is on the line. Mom or baby dies, doula doesn't get sued, midwife or doctor gets sued. And I've heard, and I'm saying the reason why I don't want to be a doula, I don't have a desire to be a doula, is because I've heard about how they have to sit and watch doctors and midwives, because sometimes some of them do, I think that's where I got off my tangent, mistreat women in hospitals or even at home births, and they can't say anything because they're not running the show. They're the assistant, and I kind of have like a independent, dominant type personality, and it's like I don't ever want to be in a position where I'm someone's assistant unless I'm being trained to be to do what that person's doing. I used to be a pharmacy technician. I hated it. I don't like being someone's yes woman and yes man. I don't not like that. And if I see something that's going on that's not right, I see a mother being mistreated, it's going to be very hard for me to sit there and not say something, to not do anything. I applaud doulas for their tenacity and for trying to advocate for these moms, but they get treated like crap, and I just don't want to do that. So a doula doesn't deliver babies, a midwife delivers babies. So not trying to, shit on doulas or anything like that, but, to be a midwife or to be an OBGYN, there is a greater responsibility. Okay, so it's slightly annoying when people are like, oh, you got like a doula? No. When I become a midwife, when I get my license, that mom and that baby's life are my responsibility. So no, I'm not like a doula. I'm not there to just relieve pain or to just help the mom manage her birth so she can get the baby here. My job is to help her manage her birth to get the baby here, but it's also to get the baby here safely and make sure that mom and baby, survive. So this is a very, very serious calling, very serious career. Not saying that being a doula is not, but just understand, just like being a pharmacist and a pharmacy technician, I use that example because that's what I used to do. The pharmacist, they don't really do as much work. I'll say that. Just like a midwife doesn't probably work as hard as a doula, to be honest. But if I'm a pharmacy technician and I slipped the wrong pill in the bottle on accident or on purpose, I can probably get fired, but I can go find a job somewhere else. But that pharmacist who went to school for 4 years and probably spent thousands and thousands of dollars for her training, hundreds of thousands possibly for her training, can lose her license and not even be able to do a job at all anymore. versus me, who I literally just went in and took the test to be a pharmacy technician. And, you know, I mean, I just went in and took $100 test. No big deal. I can go do something else. I can go to Everest and do something else. So that's the difference between that. So please, people, it's not the same thing. But like I said, they can all work together. A midwife can assist a OBGYN. A OBGYN can assist, a doula can assist a doctor, OBGYN, or a midwife. There's no, they're not the same, but they're all supposed to be working toward having healthy birth outcomes. And so, yeah, like I said, if you're a woman of color, I definitely advocate for, you getting a midwife, or doing a home birth, or a birth center birth, or getting a holistic minded OBGYN, or having a doula to assist you so that you won't be steered. Because the doula, they're very well educated, and they will tell you, your OBGYN wants to help make you deliver right before Thanksgiving, girl. For what? What's the medical reason? They will help you to understand and navigate through the system if you have a doctor that's trying to play you because they're trying to get some money and trying to get you out of their office, or hurry up and make you have a baby so they can do what they need to do. So yeah, those are the differences between an OBGYN, a midwife, or a nurse midwife, and a doula. Not the same things. 4 different things. But they are where they're all in this field to help. That's what they're supposed to be here for. So use that when deciding whether who you want to deliver your baby. So I hope that helps. I hope I've explained that well. If you have questions, please ask. I'm always open for questions. And so I hope you all have a good night, and I will see you guys next time. I'm going to be doing a video on breastfeeding in public, and I also have to do a promotional for someone who sent me some pregnancy gifts for pregnant moms, and we're going to be doing a giveaway. So I'm really excited about that, and we'll be doing that really soon. I just have to I have a lot going on, so I have to get all that together. So shout out to Spelman, my alma mater. So you guys have a good night, and thank you for watching my video.